Hi, my name's Frank Walker from National Tiles.
Hi, I'm Clive Peters, Easy.
Uncommon is a production by Neuralle, an agency that helps both brands and talent tell their story. To learn more, just visit neuralle.com. That's neuralle.com. Boys, you're back. Hello.
Yes, hi.
Welcome.
We're here to ruin how you do your show.
Yeah, pretty much.
Crush the format.
Do you
No
know,
intro.
I
just going.
thought about, because Jacob was reaching out to Arnie Donna the other day, and we actually thought, have they ever done like a serious interview ever? I mean, think they have.
I think they have, but it doesn't go seriously. They've gone to a serious show.
I listened to a serious one. They did a comedian podcast with Stuart Goldman.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's his name, but it's a podcast about comedy, and I think they took it seriously because it was like a comedy nerd podcast.
Right.
Okay. They were just talking about their Netflix deal.
Was it interesting?
Yeah, that's why I
Okay.
listened to it.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what was the name of it?
It's a comedy podcast called the Comedian Podcast.
Is this how you want to start the episode? By
Yeah.
telling
Yeah.
everyone to fuck off and listen to something else?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
It's like, welcome to Uncommon. If you would like a different podcast with different guests, check out this instead.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
We thank you, Luke, for sharing the questions. Unlike Lewis here the other night.
Yeah.
Well,
we did get some
Although,
good notes.
you said cheers for sharing, and I went, don't thank me yet, mate. Our fans are garbage,
Yeah.
and you will cop not much valuable stuff, I assume.
Yeah,
No,
you
nothing-
should actually.
nothing available
You're
at
putting
all.
it on me a bit, but you should actually say thank you that I didn't share it. You know?
No, all we got back was cum,
That's good.
Yeah.
bone meal, obviously.
He's our favorite YouTuber.
Biggest YouTuber
in the
of
world.
all time.
You know, he just hit 90 million subscribers
Really?
recently. Yeah.
Oh, last time I
not in
checked, he was on
total.
85.
Yeah, not in total. I mean, 90 million in the last 3 months added to the previous total.
What?
Yeah. Crazy.
why I love
He's
him.
huge.
Jacob gave me some notes here as well. It says Luke shredding met the vocalist of Body Jar at Locality skate shop in Greensboro.
Jacob listens to my podcast.
Editor Reese
Right.
fangirl moment.
Yeah. Do you know the band Body
No, I
Jar?
don't.
They're on the Tony Hawk 3 soundtrack.
Okay.
So
Killer soundtrack.
get to it. You know that song like, you're not the same, you've changed.
yeah.
Anyway, we went in to buy our skateboards because we posed the question on my podcast of, are we too old to skateboard?
I have the answer? Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm turning 25 tomorrow. Happy birthday. Hey, thank you. And
It's tomorrow.
okay. Well,
You got a day.
okay. You know.
But happy birthday.
Thank
for
you,
today.
mate. That's all I wanted.
Don't give it to him.
And so everyone said no. You're young, you're youthful, go out there and shred it up. So I bought a skateboard.
I mean, on paper, young, but the way you treat your body, are you young? Is that young?
My liver, no, but mentally,
Yeah.
I'm still all there.
Yeah, mentally you're a child. That's right.
Yeah, mentally I'm like 7.
Yeah.
Physically I'm like 45.
Yeah.
So I meet somewhere in the middle, which is skating territory. And Reese, who's a big fan of like that 90s, 2000s pop punk music, he freaks out. He's buying the skateboard, and I didn't know the guy. And Reese goes, and Reese doesn't really talk that much, but he just froze up more than usual.
Okay.
And I go like, what's up? And he goes, hey man, are you the guy from Body Jar? And the guy's like, oh yeah, dude, yeah, still in that band, you know, we're just doing our thing. Because he was very like, yeah, I run a skate shop and I do this on the side now because we're kind of like a older band. But the dude was a legend, and he was freaking out. Like Reese, he was nerding out.
So
That's weird for Reese because he's less of like a human, more of an AI program.
Yeah, he's
in
my
an android's
robot.
body.
Yeah.
I was going to say that guy must have spent all of his royalties on that skate shop.
Dude, it's a cool skate shop. You can
You can't
tell
get a
that-
skate shop for $2.
No, this band was big.
Oh, come on,
Blink-182
Tony Hawk, they must have gotten paid
No,
a
they
decent
didn't.
Yeah, dude.
They would have got
must.
They would have
Blink-182
got
used to
like
open
a
for
grand
them.
once.
They went on tour with Blink when they were huge in America doing stadiums, so surely they'd make big money.
Do you
just doing
get
that.
royalties from
They were on
video
what?
games?
not continuous royalties. You would get some sort of deal,
Yeah, you get paid once,
like a lump,
to be in the
some
game.
and maybe some sort of maybe not so much residual, but they would have definitely got some sort of deal.
They
Now,
would
Tony
be
Hawk
doing.
was,
They would have done okay, and if they used their money
PlayStation
correctly,
was
then I
Sony as
guess.
well,
Yeah.
so they would have had no choice but to do some sort of deal.
That's true. I bet somewhere in their contract it said, "Oh, by the way, if we put you in a video game, no cash."
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, they might have paid them.
You know what
like
I think? Speaking of like music in video games, I think how cool would it be for the next Grand Theft Auto when it comes out in 2070? If they have like radio stations that are constantly updated live,
that would be sick,
right? They could do that.
I just completely tuned out. What did you just say?
In Grand Theft Auto,
so
when
like,
the next one comes out, you know how they have radio stations?
Oh, real life radio.
They would update it. Wouldn't be real life. All the conversations would still be scripted, but they would have the technology to update the songs.
Like it weekly or something.
Every time they updated something, like a major update, they could have a current station that plays current music.
But do you reckon they could actually buy like episodes of Howard Stern or something and then like put it in the game and it uploads weekly?
Yeah,
so as you're driving
I think it'd be
around,
too expensive though.
Yeah, or like a show. Say if you bought like the Breakfast Club or whatever this big show over.
In Grand Theft Auto 4, and I imagine the new one, I haven't played it, you could upload your own music to the game and then it would just randomize it and put it on like a pirate radio station, and it played all these jokes about like, oh, this is your pirated music, and then it would play songs that you put in the game.
Yeah.
I mean, you can just like, I just do that anyway when I play Tony Hawk. I just turn down the in-game volume and put Spotify on in the background.
Less immersive.
I was just thinking about like that whole
because you keep the game sounds on. It's exactly the same.
Yeah,
Spotify
but you don't
runs
have
through PlayStation.
the announcer.
Oh.
Do you guys distribute your podcast like pretty much everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Like Spotify, anything Apple
We
related.
do cassettes as well. Every week we're out on the street.
Sometimes we're just flicking USBs to people on the street.
Because we had this. Who did we meet with this week? That music group, the like metal music group, and now they've
Metallica.
Unified. That's it.
Yeah, that's the one.
So we met with Unified, and they just signed a podcast. I got a sense that like podcasting is because of Joe Rogan.
They just signed Lewis's favorite band, Short Stack.
Mm-hmm.
They did too. They
Yeah.
My favorite band
it
of
in
all
the
time.
meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a huge Short Stack fan.
Really?
Pancakes and music.
Double trouble.
I did take some sarcasm there, but
No.
I love
No?
pancakes. What are you talking about?
no, the band.
The band? No, Short Stack. They're the best band in the world.
And he's never ever badmouthed them on a podcast.
Never
he
once.
stands
Not
by
once.
it. It's not like he talked badly about them on our show and then they actually commented on the episode or anything and then he retracted it immediately next episode. That didn't happen at all.
That would be disingenuous.
Because he would never do that.
That's the story of a liar.
Just like how
if anyone would do that, they'd be a bad person, and that's not me.
He'd never lie to get like a viral article either, would he?
I've never done
he
that.
wouldn't.
Yeah,
Never make up
if
a
you're a
fake
fan of my
name.
content, you know I've never told a lie.
That's kind of the appeal of Lewis Spears. It's like trustworthy
Yeah.
and reliable.
Authoritative.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Chad father figure.
Yeah.
Alpha
wouldn't say
TM.
Chad.
I wouldn't say father figure either. You know, what, you were going to get halfway through the podcast and start calling me daddy? Bit much.
Fuck. All right.
Anyway, so what were you saying about Unify? Sorry.
I don't even know, to be honest. No, we
Podcasts?
we met with them, and so my question to you is like, do you think if any of these labels or platforms came to you and said, okay, we're going to pay you a lot of money and we want to license Luke and Lewis, but it's only got to be here, would you do it? Or does it run counterintuitive to eventually selling shows anyway?
Well, we just accepted a $500,000 deal from Tidal. I haven't told Luke about it, but our show is going to be exclusive to Tidal. And the pitch
It's going to suck for anyone who's tuned into this wanting to be informed on our business. And you're just like...
Is that what the show is? Is that what people are here for, to find out about the business?
Yeah.
Well, you'll love this. Guess where we're signed to? $500,000 Tidal.
We are...
Fuck.
I think we
talked
do
about it.
Spotify because I think over 50% of our audience already listens on Spotify.
Yeah.
But you can't pick a platform that might reflect
those
badly
deals,
with numbers.
doing those deals to go exclusive to like a new platform or an emerging platform, it's such a crazy risk. So for us to do that, we would have to be offered like a life-changing amount of money, and it would have to be a limited time only, just to protect us from their company failing. Because, you know, Ninja did it, the Twitch streamer, biggest streamer on the planet. Microsoft starts up a Twitch competitor, Mixer. They sign him for like probably $50 to $100 million to go exclusive there. And then they didn't even get it, I believe, like a year into his contract, and then Mixer went under. And then he was just able to leave. But imagine if they didn't go under and he was just stuck on a failing platform for however many years he agreed to.
Right.
Like,
So you're more concerned about that than potentially the audience there.
I mean, I also like want people to listen to our show.
well, that's the
Yeah,
main thing.
because
Like, we're
Be
comedians
honest.
first.
Do you listen to Joe Rogan as much as you do?
No, I don't. I don't anymore.
Yeah.
I
Neither
actually
do I.
don't.
No.
And I
Yeah.
think that's what we'd maybe do, audio exclusive somewhere, and ideally like a big streaming service, ideally Spotify or something like that.
Yeah.
But YouTube is pretty much like a deal breaker because that's where our audience is.
You can't
And it's-
leave YouTube. Like, filming stuff is it's not
It's
even
everything.
the future of podcasting. I think
It's
last
the-
time
it's-
we came on, we
it
were talking
was.
about how it's like the future.
But now it's
present.
if you don't film, you're weird.
Yeah.
It's so important. Like yeah, the reason why I don't listen to many Joe Rogan podcasts anymore is because it's not on
It used to
YouTube.
just come up on trending, or I used to get recommended it, and I go, "Oh,
Yeah.
Miley Cyrus." I'm like, "That could be crazy,"
Yeah.
and "Oh,
Yeah.
Kanye, I'll listen to that."
Yeah,
I just chuck it on.
he still puts out the clips, but they're like delayed, at least by a day or so. And I'm
Yes.
like seeing stuff and being like, oh, he had this person on. I'm
Yeah.
just not. I'm
I'm no
like
longer
you. I don't.
connected with like what's currently happening
At
with
all.
that show.
The
And I
whole-
worry
yeah.
that would happen if we did it, but I think we're too small to even be for
Yeah, it's
that to
not-
be in the
not
realm
even-
of possibility yet.
Not anything to worry about, because like, you know, it would be at our size, it would be silly to go exclusive even for heaps of money, because it would just hamstring our growth. You know, like Luke and I stand up comedians first. Like the podcast is amazing and heaps of fun, but like we want people to come to shows.
Yeah.
That's the main thing.
Yeah,
So
I've always thought that.
it's like
We also
cool.
don't really give a shit about the money of like the podcast and
No.
stuff yet, because it's
No, we took
see,
$500,000 from Tidal, so we're sorted.
yeah,
money-wise.
we don't care.
Yeah, so long as you can pay for bone meal, that's all that matters, right?
We couldn't afford him.
Yeah.
We haven't met him.
I don't know who that guy is. He's my favorite though.
All right, so last time we caught up was us, Neil, we're doing remote. It was July last year. You just moved to Frankston.
Yep.
I know you've escaped Frankston now, at least studio
Temporarily, I'm
Temporarily.
here. You know. Oh well, the Luke and Lewis show has escaped.
I've
We've moved
escaped.
studios.
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
You've escaped.
Luke will never go
You're-
back.
you're
I'm
all
still
sorted.
there.
What's like in hindsight, comedy's back, which is fucking great.
Yes.
This will go out. Your shows will be in their final week probably.
Yes.
Come
So-
see us.
Come see the guys. When are you both normally performing?
Both our shows are 8:30, but we're both doing every single night. I'm not doing Monday, and Luke is not doing Wednesday.
Yes.
But every night other than that.
So no Monday, no Wednesday.
Yep.
Yeah.
$35 a ticket.
LukeKidgell.com, LouSpears.com.
Rubber Chicken, South Melbourne.
That's my venue.
That's your
which,
venue?
by the way, can we all agree? Funniest name ever for a venue.
Yeah.
Like
Great
every time,
safe word.
Like everyone who listened to this, when you said Rubber Chicken, they pissed themselves laughing.
They were
Yeah.
like,
It's-
no one called their venue that. Oh, they did. They really did.
Yeah.
I actually like it as a name. It fucking stands out.
Look,
It does stand
it stands
out.
out.
Sure.
Yeah, you know, in the same way when you get a black eye, people go, "Fuck, that stands out."
Yeah.
You know, that's noticeable.
Okay, well,
is it an improvement? Perhaps not, but I'll notice it.
If you guys had a venue that was good enough for comedy, what would you call it?
Just something generic like the Comics Lounge. Perfect. You know,
Yeah.
up in Sydney they have
The
the
Comedy
comedy
Store.
store. You know, just go.
It's a store.
Comedy.
They sell comedy.
Thing.
Comedy thing. Be very specific.
Comedy Cellar, the comic
Comedy
strip.
box.
New York, get it?
Yeah.
Stand up New York.
So you're at Rubber Chicken. Where are you performing?
Kicks Bar on Elizabeth
Bar?
Street.
That's
Okay.
cool. That's a sports bar. Kicks.
Yeah.
Nice and simple. Rubber Chicken doesn't scream comedy. It screams dog toy.
Yeah. You're on the run again,
It
and
screams.
you're in the trenches.
Literally screams, yeah. I shouldn't trash my own venue. Inside the venue, it's lovely. I just have a real issue with the name.
Yeah.
But
So
the guy
why-
that runs it is amazing.
So why go with it then if it's such an issue?
Well, because it's a
He was-
great venue.
Yeah, it was pretty hard to find venues for the festival during COVID.
They offered me $500,000 to do my show there.
I was
Yeah.
last year when I was at the Loogies, you guys would always perform at that same venue on King Street. Well, what's that called again?
The music one.
Music
It's like a
Institute.
music school though.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Australian Institute of Music, AIM.
AIM, that's it. Did you consider going back there this year? Or they weren't hosting.
Oh, they didn't reply to my email.
Yeah, it's those uni ones. Any
that
business,
only worked because we were splitting it between 3 of us throughout the night.
Yeah.
It's quite expensive for the venue hire every night.
Yeah.
And was obviously subsidised because it was split between the 3 of us. If
Yeah.
I was to just do there, would not be very profitable or worth doing.
Also, it's too big. Like it was 200. Like Luke and I both, after a year off, more than a year off, doing like actual hour-long shows. We wanted to do as many as we could. So now we're doing 23 just in Melbourne, and then
saw
both
like
of us are going to
100-seater.
go, like interstate. So
The venues look a lot more intimate as well, which is
it's
nice.
good. It's nice. You can see everyone. It feels like it's a nice return to comedy. Like, I don't think I would want to have a whole year off and then just get up in front of like 500 people once and they go, "Oh shit, that was crazy. Am I back into the routine of it?" Like we got to keep doing it.
I think I've only done like something like 38 gigs since comedy's been back since December 1st.
Only 38. What would you normally do per month?
I mean, it's been like 3 months. Like it's been hard to get gigs.
When things were normal, how many months would you on average do?
I have it written down. I have like since I ever started. I think the most I've ever done a year is like 140.
Fuck.
You want to try and be
like,
doing 2
it's
to
not- no,
3
some people do
every
like 2.
day.
Yeah, I guess
every week.
if it makes sense if you're doing your
Some
midweek
people do way
shows.
more.
Well, these aren't hours. These are 5-minute spots. So
Yeah.
like to write an hour, you kind of need per 5 minutes of new material. You kind of needs a month to like perfect.
I just checked my notes. 2019, 143 gigs. 2020, 33.
Rough. Yeah. And I think most of that was like a regional tour.
Yeah, and then I think 12 or 14 of those dates were on the tour that we did, and then so I did 13 other spots before. Oh, geez, I had a busy January.
Hang
Yeah.
on, that would have been predominantly December as well. 'Cause you
Yeah,
said
I did
December
about 10
1st.
at the end before the loogies.
Fuck. I know we talked a lot about the lowlights of 2020, but what in hindsight seems like the highlights? What did you guys learn?
I was forced to learn how to make the online side of my business profitable, because before I ran my shit of like, throw money at the YouTube thing and then I'll break even and that's cool, and then I'll make my money on tour, and then all of a sudden
Tidal.
Tidal, which was a
don't
real
forget it.
lifesaver. But then like I did that breaking even on the online thing. I'm like, this is great. Everything's going great. And then, COVID happened. They were like, oh, by the way, your income, gone. And I was like, shit. So it was, in a way, I think, good for probably both of us and a lot of the online people, because it forced us to like really figure out the online thing, because it's hard to do both
It's also
properly at
hard
the same
to
time.
fill out the JobKeeper forms correctly as well.
Yes.
So I learned how to navigate Centrelink's website quite
actually, Luke's right. I
frequently.
take it all back. JobKeeper
JobKeeper
was by
was-
far the best part.
Yeah.
I worked out how to make my online business profitable, and that was government handouts.
And you guys have do you trade as like under an ABN, or do you have like a company that pays you a salary?
We used to be just sole traders, but since we were purchased by Tidal, it's a little bit messy.
But yeah,
You're really gonna keep going with this title thing the whole
Yeah.
episode, aren't you?
I don't want to
'Cause-
lie to your listeners.
but there's this
You wouldn't lie.
there's
No,
a thing called
I would never lie.
the dip in comedy, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we've hit the dip of the title joke.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you give it 30 minutes, it'll
Mate,
come back around.
absolutely. Remember
We'll be
when-
having a giggle in 20 minutes. We'll be. I hate it at the moment.
Yeah, we're in the dip, but
We're
remember when
disenfranchised.
Bitcoin dipped?
Yeah.
What happened straight after that?
Fucking
Boom.
rocketed,
A bunch
mate.
of people made a few million,
To the moon. Okay, so it was the online, getting the online going.
And
basically.
Twitch, we both started streaming
Yeah.
pretty regularly. I started on YouTube mainly. I did Friday night drinks, which became like a bit of a staple for me throughout.
I remember
lockdown.
attending a few of those.
Well, he was
meant
doing
it-
that anyway, so
I know.
might as
I
well
figured
stream
I
it.
might as well film it. Like I'm just doing this
Yeah.
anyway. So
Well, that's
people
why I
loved
had
it.
my bar to,
was
I
gonna
felt like
say.
I could be sitting there with
Pretty
you
judgy.
online.
Hey, Jordan's stashed downstairs. I walk in, I go, rough year, mate.
Yeah, it's less a bar, more like half the kitchen bench. You know,
Pretty much. Yeah, it turned into,
Mm.
I guess you could call it a hobby.
or a problem. You know,
I don't have a drinking problem at all. Okay, so you got that going. You're doing the online stuff. I actually saw that maybe it was yourself. You did a campaign with Logitech.
yes,
Did
yeah,
that come via agency?
yes, yeah, it did.
What's her name? Kit? Kitty?
Kitty, yeah.
Kitty Kriya,
Which
yeah.
is also my cat's name.
Now,
Yeah.
can I tell you how angry I am about this? Because
What?
I got offered the exact same deal.
Okay.
And then we're not going to disclose how much. He paid generously.
$500,000.
It wasn't as much as the title deal. All right, we're coming back. It's coming back. But it was.
What, his paid generously or yours did?
We both
both-
got
both
offered the
would
same,
have, yeah.
right? And now what I did, because I'm a responsible person, I go, well, before I lock that in, I'm going to look at my calendar. And then I went, oh, I'm in Bathurst that night because they were coming from overseas to shoot this stuff with Australian creators.
They wanted to film
so
it
they
in
were
person.
like, we're here for these dates. You have to be here. And I went, sorry, I'm interstate. I'm not in Melbourne. I can't do it. And I had to turn down a lot of money. Now, Lewis doesn't check his calendar.
Nah.
And he
Did you
double
notice
books
how I
things.
was super late today?
Yeah.
Didn't check my calendar.
Yeah.
Had a lot of stuff on today. I made it. I was late, and that's rude, but I'm here.
I think it's like, I was saying to Luke earlier, I'm pretty sure all the interviews we've done with you, you've been late.
Yeah.
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 It's
It's crazy because I'm always late to our show. I have no respect for our team.
Yeah.
But I have respect for other people.
Yeah,
I'm just not
I'm
my
the
friends.
complete opposite, mate.
He's got respect for his
purely
team, but
respect
no one
my
else.
team, your team, whatever. You know, sorry, mate, but I just have to admit it. You know,
So Logitech, you miss out on it, and
All
he
right,
gets
so
it.
then Lewis realizes about a week before the tour. he goes,
right now in this part of the story, it sounds like I've made a good decision. But let Luke finish.
and then he goes, oh, shit, I've double booked myself. I'm in Bathurst and I got to do this Logitech thing.
You're forgetting. I triple booked myself. I also agreed to host some fucking terrible bingo night in fucking Sydney. Do you remember?
Yes. Did you go do that?
Yeah. It was hell.
We were lucky that we had 3 days off between shows. So we hung out in Bathurst or some shithole for like 3 days. And that's one of the worst places I've ever been. And I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. If you
Nah,
are
not
listening
sorry at
from
all.
there, move.
Yeah, move.
If your town is based off motorsport and you
Yeah,
go,
there's
what is
not
there to do
much.
here? And people go, have you checked out the track? It's not a track. It's a road.
Yeah.
There's houses on it.
Yeah.
On the track.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, mate. The track, there's one outside my house too.
You know, the only reason people live in Bathurst is because so many people have been poisoned by the race car fumes that if they get too far away from their ventilator, they'll die.
Wait, what?
Everyone in Bathurst they're connected to a ventilator.
It's true.
The whole city, we got there, it looked like a COVID ward. It was like a premonition.
Like, you're not joking.
No, every single person in Bathurst is on a ventilator.
Yeah,
Jesus.
he's doubling down because it was a bit of a shit one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's done it a couple times. You know, he did with the title thing. Now he's done with the
So
ventilator
I'm
bit.
just looking at Jacob like the bullshit detector.
But anyway, we get to this place. Lewis then books a regional flight back, so he has to fly
Yeah.
out of Bathurst for the night,
Like with Rex or
Rex or
Yeah.
some
It was
shit.
Pelican. You know those planes
Pelican?
flap?
Oh,
That's why it's called Pelican.
fuck.
that one's true.
Yeah,
I've
Yeah,
seen
that
it.
one is true.
So he flies back and what?
It was
I'm
I'd
annoyed
never
because he
taken
flies back to get a mad paycheck, and I'm just stuck in Bathurst because I've already turned down this deal. We could have flown back together. We could have left Keelan and tour manager Zach there.
Yeah.
Would have been great. I had the worst time. There's nothing to do there. I just would start going for runs on the tour because I was so
Yeah.
bored. I was just like, I'm going to exercise.
The regional tour, if you don't know, we booked, how many dates was it? It was almost 30.
It's like 18.
18.
It's not that
That's
many
almost
places
30.
in Australia.
We jumped in an RV and just did all of regional Australia in fucking summer, like fools.
Over 3 weeks.
And on the surface, and when we were booking it, when we had the idea, that sounds amazing, right? Oh, we'll see the whole country.
That's
It'll be
what
great.
everyone told me. My dad was like, mate, you got to be thankful this when you're older. You got to travel from Melbourne to Cairns with all your mates.
It's exactly what my dad said.
He's like, it'll change your life. He goes,
Yeah.
and I was like, really? I'm going to remember the time when our editor threw up outside a Sizzler on his 20th birthday because he had too much jelly.
yeah.
That's awesome.
I will
what a
remember
memory.
that forever. I'll also remember night one where we got in and the toilet flooded and there was piss all over the floor.
Yes.
I had to
Not
sleep
even
in
our
some
piss.
backpacker's piss that used the RV before us.
Yeah.
I drove past the Shepparton Big Four
Yeah.
last weekend doing a show. I had flashbacks. It
Yeah.
traumatized me.
Yeah.
But
During
you
the
always
night,
have that story.
I know. Dad's like, you should be grateful, mate. I'm
Yeah.
like, really?
yeah, Luke had the floor that night, and so he was kind of soaked in the piss, and he
Yeah.
started hallucinating because the
I
backpackers
remember
did
the
so many
story.
pingers.
Like someone was complaining about it rolling into their bed, so it was like it was yours.
Oh, it was just
your-
everywhere.
It was
It
just
was-
marinating in the wee.
Upon reflection, my thoughts of it, and I think Luke's similar, my thoughts looking back on it is that was amazing. Let's never fucking do it again.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
But you can tick it off though.
You know,
The shows were great.
Yeah.
It was just like living in
it was
an
just
RV was
every
hard.
day there was
Bathurst,
like
not so much.
you'd be showering and there'd be like a cane toad just like jump into the shower. I'm not kidding. It happened like twice.
Yeah.
And you get to like, it would be a Wednesday night. We'd be like after the show, all right, we need to get dinner somewhere. We're in Townsville. We look up places to eat. The only place open one night was the casino. It was so grim. We watched this Chinese guy lose everything. And his wife.
Yeah.
She like hit him.
Yeah.
He put it on the table. It went down. He lost it, and she walked out. And I saw him lose his house and his family.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Luke took it back to the RV.
it was crazy. And it was a Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday.
Dude, lose it all on a Friday.
Yeah.
You think Crown Casino in Melbourne is grim on a weekday?
Imagine going to Townsville Casino.
It wasn't even a Crown.
It was just
it?
like a pokey den that had a license to play roulette.
It had just enough room for like 4 roulette tables. Oh, it was grim.
I've seen someone do a tour of Townsville Casino just to display exactly that, how grim it is.
Yeah.
There is some other casino up that way though. I feel like near Cairns or something
Another
like that.
one. There shouldn't be any.
No, there was one that
You
was...
shouldn't give those facilities to regional Queenslanders.
No.
You reckon?
No, that's why regional Queensland is what it is.
Yeah. Well, apparently there's some Chinese guy that bought...
Was there a joke there, or was that just
No,
fuck
it was just a
regional
bit sad.
Queensland?
It was.
Yeah.
It was a bit grim.
I realised after I said it, I went,
Yeah.
I've
Not a
probably
good
hurt
joke.
some feelings there.
But that's all right. As we said before, we're never going back.
It's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
No, there was some Chinese bloke that 2 years ago bought a patch of land that's been turned into like a luxury casino resort thing up near Cairns.
That's so funny.
So
Cairns is lovely.
it's nice.
very nice.
Yeah. Have you guys
Cairns
been...
was nice. From memory, Cairns was great. Then the show was pretty horrific.
I did a music festival there, for this company, and it was great. Had such a good weekend.
Why does that
Title,
ring a
wasn't it?
bell? A music festival for so...
We're in the dip.
The grass is greener. It was
I'm
cool.
being ignored.
Oh, sorry, you talking?
Yeah, I just
Did
said
you
that
do
was
another
I
title?
said that was for title, wasn't it? Yeah, and I
Shit,
Still,
Still
we're
in
not
it.
at it.
I
We're
was
still not at it
really
yet.
in the
We're
dip.
actually getting a bit deeper.
I'm gonna come back. I'm holding. I'm not selling this.
Oh,
You're
fuck.
mining. That's
Okay.
what you're digging, right?
So 2020, it's online. It's the regional tours.
Yeah.
Do you guys feel like much change about your own individual comedy?
I don't know. You know, I was really expecting, and I think pretty logically, that I and every comedian was going to come back a lot worse because, I mean, you take a year off anything. If an athlete didn't run for a year, it's going to take them a while to get back to where they were. To be honest, I think once I got the rust off, I think I've kind of come back better. And I think maybe it was because all we did was write and like execute ideas without having to worry about, because sometimes when you do stand up all the time, you need to do it 2, 3, 4, 5 times a week. And sometimes you get lost in the fucking performing and the small things. And I've found sometimes I'm like, if I can't work out a bit, I need to take like a week off stand up and just like think and observe things. So I think it's like, I've come back better, but it might honestly just be because I now have a new appreciation for it because I missed it so much too.
Yeah.
You know, I'm probably having more fun. I haven't done it for ages. The audience misses it also. But other than that, it was just, I think like everyone else, it was just a bit of a shit time. I don't think it changed many people's lives.
I don't think it's changed comedians, although there was a few comedians like, you know, you go to those early shows back at the Comics Lounge, like you've got, you know, people who are very well known on the TV up there with notes going, shit, like reading jokes and just go, I forgot my lines. There was a real rust
Really?
there. Yeah. I mean, of course,
Everyone was.
haven't done it in 8 months.
Yeah.
You lose the muscle a bit. But I've noticed, I don't know if you've had this experience, I think audiences, maybe it's just our generation, like young people, have gotten softer, like in what they will like laugh at. Like they're just losers.
Well, fuck, if you...
They are. Like, it's pathetic.
Man, you got tickets to sell. You're just going, what I've noticed in particular, our audience are
Suck.
losers.
No, it's like not everyone.
Yeah.
It's like I'll get a lot of people off TikTok, and I hadn't noticed it until I started doing these shows where I was like, oh, wow, like I see people's faces. I wouldn't even do something that's that edgy. Like it would be like kind of edgy. I think the other night on stage in a bit of crowd work, I just implied that oh no, I have a joke about Ted Bundy, and it's anti-Ted Bundy. It's like that he should be kicked is the joke.
Yes.
And people went, oh. And I'm like, are you defending a serial killer?
Yeah.
I'm like, what's, because they hear the word and they go, it's just a word. They go, oh, you shouldn't talk about that.
You know what? I think it's...
And I'm like, you worried about me offending serial killers? Is that who you're sticking up for now? Like, they're sticking up for everyone now.
I think it's because...
He eats people. What's wrong with you?
I think it's because the only thing to do in quarantine was to watch everybody get cancelled. And then there was like the Black Lives Matter stuff, and then there was like heaps of Me Too stuff going on as well. And there was so many like... different social causes that went fucking crazy.
I think people got lost in that world of like on their phones and that echo
100%.
chamber of...
Yeah. Not that those things are bad, I'll make clear. I think they're good that they happen.
It's great. It's almost good that it happened, but I think people got lost in that world for so long. And it's not like they don't want to laugh. I think there's a lot of people who are actually quite unsure
of what
they can do in public and what they can laugh about in front of their friends. And there's this real uncertainty, it seems, amongst crowds of like... It's different now.
But
like,
that was 2020 in a nutshell, wasn't it?
It
because
was.
you completely separated. You're on your devices, and then you're not actually seeing people in real life. You don't get a gauge for what is.
It's also like people like in the same way that we're super rusty, and when we performed for the first month, we were fucking weird and we didn't know how to do it.
Well, I thought it was me for a bit. Yeah. I thought, I'm just rusty, and blah, blah, blah. And then I realized I'm like. No, I do gigs in front of like the comic stands, like inner suburban 30, 40-year-olds who get what to do at a live show. It crushes.
Yeah.
Right? And then I'll like go to like another show or whatever, and there'll be a bunch of young people at like a bar in Fitzroy, like a little underground trendy bar. They're just uncertain with themselves, I think.
But you know, when after the big 100-day lockdown where you couldn't leave your house, I went and I went and ordered coffee. And I did it and I was like, fuck, that was weird. I was weird doing that. And the guy was weird doing that.
I completely agree.
You know what I mean?
think the first month afterwards, did you feel like exhausted?
Yeah.
Like I wasn't even catching up with many people.
If you think about it now, I know it's been a while since we come out of lockdown, but now it's got to be 80% of the crowd. It's their first time seeing comedy since lockdown.
Yeah, well, it is.
So they're weird as well. And like we've always found, because we have quite a young crowd, whenever it's people's first time in their life seeing comedy, a lot of the time they're like, oh, can I laugh? Because you're conditioned seeing performance, seeing movies, shut the fuck up, don't say anything, do not disrupt.
Yes.
So sometimes Luke and I found that when it was like, 16 to 18-year-old people's first comedy show, they're a little bit like, some people are like, oh, I'll stay quiet. Some people feel pressure, like, oh, I should laugh, and that makes them not laugh. And we just started going, hey, if you're at a comedy show, this is what you should do. We love loud, we love clapping, we love people joining in and laughter. And it's almost, quarantine's compounded that issue a little bit. I mean, the shows have been incredible, but every now and then...
I feel like I exaggerated before. It's like a real minority. Like, I just sense it in the room. I feel like unease.
Self-censoring. But it
no,
exists.
I don't censor it myself, but I feel a little bit of, unease. And I see people cover their mouth
Yeah.
to
I'm
not
seeing
laugh.
a bit of that. Yeah.
And I'm just like, just laugh.
Yeah, but that is definitely like a thing about society that has come out of being fucking in dungeons on screens, not
think so.
socializing. Like, I just think that the first 3 months afterwards, I remember
sad.
I was actually like, I'm an extroverted person, and I'd be catching up with people, and I'd be fucking exhausted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like really tired after catching up with people.
I found as a person, you know what probably changed me a little bit about lockdown? I used to be super much more introverted. I'm doing things now that I would just decline a lot more. I'm going to shit.
What?
Just social events. I'm like going instead of not going because I'm like, kind of missed it a little bit, which is weird for me because I don't go to anything.
That's interesting. Yeah.
He left our work party. He's like, it's Luke and Lewis work party.
Yeah,
he
I'm
left
paying for
before
it.
midnight.
I paid for it. I left. Early. I didn't get my own money's worth.
What did you guys? So this work party, was this for like end of year Christmassy type thing?
Yeah.
What did you guys do?
We went bowling with the squad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We jumped on a yacht with Jay-Z. He owns Tidal.
Well, it's coming around.
That's where
I
you
didn't
got
mind that
that
one.
It's coming back.
That's where you got the deal.
Yeah, we were all wearing blue.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't really get that one.
Yeah.
Really old reference to when Tidal launched. All the artists changed their display pictures to blue. I was really digging there. One person laughed.
Okay.
Let's listen to this. One person. No one in the room, but I'm claiming that one person.
Jacob did.
Well, he's
he
no
gave you-
marketing.
As I
there's
said
no
before,
proof.
mate, I don't respect your team, just mine, so he doesn't count.
So, fuck, what were we even talking about? I don't even know what I asked.
Just how we changed since lockdown and social things.
there was
Work party.
the work
Tidal.
party.
Oh,
Yacht,
yeah.
Jay-Z.
And then
Small talk.
Yeah, we just the night got a little messy after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why Lewis.
I
Honestly.
get made fun of, but I upon hearing the tales, I think I made the right call.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm one for bailing on those things pretty quickly. It served, not quickly, but at a reasonable time. It
You
served
live
me
quite
well.
close to the city as well, so you have the luxury of going. My bed is within 2 kilometers.
Yeah,
I
so I'm just
could
going to
leave.
bounce. But I remember when I did have like a corporate job, every year at the work party, someone would get fired because they'd do something inappropriate, like smack the CEO's nuts, or
That's a bit comfortable.
or sexually assault someone.
Yeah.
So they would be charged and fired. So it would often get to like 11:30, near 12
I was going to
o'clock,
say,
and I just
do you
go
work?
bounce.
I was going to say, do you work for the Liberal Party? But
No, no.
they don't get fired for doing that. do
Speaking
they?
of cum,
Yeah.
fucking hell, that shit's crazy, huh?
Man, it's in shambles.
Yeah,
This shit might cost them the election.
it could.
You can't piss off
But are they-
half the population.
Are they part of the party, or are they like public servants?
They're-
Like in
some are
departments?
staffers, some are
you hear that?
senators.
Moron lady came out and said that she felt bad for the person who got fired.
Yeah.
You can't say that.
Nah.
Who? Which lady?
The guy, whoever jacked off on the desk, got fired, and
Yeah.
another liberal. I don't know what her name is. She was blonde. She had a little fringe. She looked like a Liberal MP. And she came out and was like, oh, obviously it's unacceptable what he did, but I obviously do feel bad for him that he
Yeah.
like, got
And she
fired or
also
whatever.
said he was a nice guy.
Yeah.
It's like you
He
can't
doesn't
say that.
seem
Well,
that
no,
nice.
hang on.
No.
You can say that.
No,
but-
no,
okay.
you say, I thought he was a nice guy,
Yeah.
or he came across as a nice guy until he fucking jacked off at work and
Yeah,
sent
but that's
photos
just a
to
weird
everyone.
fucking.
so weird, like-
wouldn't you think that's a weird sexual fetish as opposed to a personality trait?
I wouldn't see someone jack off over someone's laptop on their work desk and be like, what a top bloke.
Good bloke.
No, I wouldn't either.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And that's just my hot take.
What are you hiding in your closet? Because I
but-
think you're a nice guy. Am I going to have to start saying until?
yeah. Until no, but this guy, like they're all doing it in like closed rooms and filming it and sending it to each other, right?
So weird.
That was
That's
and
like
in the
rugby
prayer
player
room
shit.
as well. Do you just see
What?
that?
No, I did not hear that.
Yeah, I mean that was the article that I read, the insider one or
I haven't
pedestrian
heard
or
that.
something. Yeah,
Jesus.
it was the guy Tom who came out. And someone came out under an alias Tom to the media and said that. Put it this way, that prayer room was not being used for prayer. It's so disrespectful.
But there were people on their knees.
Well, because there still were people on their knees. And you know why? Because he admitted to the media anonymously that he'd fucked in there too.
Yeah, they're all
Oh.
they're all having orgies in whatever.
Why
room.
aren't the conspiracy theorists going nuts over this? This is perfect. It's fucking in like a religious space. That's cult activity. Where's Alex Jones?
There's too much shit going on in America for
Good
them
question.
to care.
Yeah.
But isn't it crazy though that like that's so disrespectful to anyone who might have been using it as a prayer room?
Yeah.
Probably not that anyone may have been, but it's probably
God
just an
loves
empty
sinners.
room.
Still, he
Yeah.
loves everyone.
It's just all a bit weird.
It is very strange.
Like to me, are you surprised though? Like,
No.
I feel like in
the
a
least surprising
town
thing
like
I've ever heard.
Canberra, in that whole gig, you've got to you got to be a bit screwy. You got to have some sort of weird.
All politicians, for the huge sweeping generalization I'm making here, all politicians
good, 'cause I'm
generally
about to make one too.
Great from all parties are completely fucking detached from reality and what an
Yeah.
actual person's life is.
Yeah.
You know, to even be able to run, you need to come from money. Pretty much, you need.
Well, you just need to be
cash.
backed.
Yeah, you need to be backed, you need cash, you need to be good at networking, and you have to play the game of politics to move up. And you really need to start in politics super young and be a politician your whole fucking life to get anywhere where you can change lives. And at that point, the only thing you know is being a politician. And that's why the only thing those cunts can agree on is giving each other a raise.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, I reckon we need a bit of help. Yeah, that's what I know. Yeah, all right. Yeah, a bit more money for us.
Yeah, I remember I had a bit of a realization like after late 2019 or maybe early 2020, we were going to, because we'd interviewed a few politicians. I was like, there's not much I'm getting from this. Like there's a lot of same stuff, and these were relatively high-profile politicians. The only consideration I give is the PM and the leader of the opposition, because that would be interesting, just to hear them spin whatever. Yeah, something like that. Having the two of them sit here, that'd be quite interesting.
But they would never do that.
No, they wouldn't. They could never do a show or anything where it's not so much scripted but not highly edited, or they've got some ability to
like the only reason they'll get grilled a little bit on the ABC, and the only reason they let that happen is because the ABC knows if they go too hard they'll get their funding cut.
Yeah, but most of the hard stuff they have is Lee Sales asking the same question 5 times. Like that's the grilling they get.
Yeah, it's a weird system. I loved ScoMo's response to a journalist going, "Oh, what do you think about all these terrible things? That reflects poorly on you." And then him going, "Well, your organization has some rapey stuff going on as well." It's like, okay, and the journalist didn't know about that, and that also, I believe, was not public at all.
Yeah, what do you think about
there
that?
is gone, what? Everyone has a bit of raping going on in their office, I'm not bad. We're both bad. And then he's also kind of admitted, again, this sounds true, I haven't done my research, but he's also kind of admitted that someone's worded him up about allegations that a big media company has, which just proves like weirdly close ties, because no one else knew about that.
Yeah.
But he did.
Which, the editor of Sky News didn't.
The boss goes, hey, just so you know, so it doesn't surprise you in an interview or something, we might have some allegations coming up too. And he goes, oh, fuck, how crazy is it? They bond over it.
But surely people get that that's going to happen.
It's just so weird to
news
come
media
on
would be, of course, speaking to like the high-profile types would. I would imagine the CEO of News Corp would be chatting to the PM and others.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't think they should be friends. The news shouldn't be friends with politicians. They should be holding them to account.
So right? what do you do to stop them being friends then?
You can't.
Exactly.
Because the system's corrupt. I don't have any solutions. What I do have is
jizz
complaints.
on their desk.
Yeah. You can jizz on their desk.
Yeah.
You can leak shit.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Out of your dick.
I want to know. I want to know what the Liberals did to piss off the news enough to have all this come out. Here's my conspiracy theory. Do you think it's because they fucked up the news media bargaining code and rolled over and didn't pass what Rupert Murdoch wanted them to pass?
I think they got what they want. I think they anchored pretty high, and then they got something that was still good enough.
They did get something.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then that's my conspiracy theory gone.
Yeah.
You see, I'm that type of conspiracy theorist where I'll go,
oh, no.
crazy assumption. Someone will go, yeah, what about this? And I'll go, yeah, that's fucking crazy, and I'll put it in the bin.
Yeah. So maybe you're just skeptical and not a conspiracy theorist. I don't think you're a conspiracy
theorist because you just use reason and logic.
Yeah.
In a conversation on a podcast, which is unheard of.
Facts.
Yeah, it doesn't happen very often, does it?
And you said the word fact. So already.
Yeah, it's out,
You. Yes, you. Are you intrigued by this episode? If so, go to our footer on the website, neuralle.com, neuralle.com. We're going to give you an insight. Each week it's going to be on business, marketing, or a topic that we covered in the episode. At all, we'd love your support, and it would help us in developing the intellect around this series. But without going on too much longer, let's get back into this episode. Speaking of facts,
machine.
What?
Fax machine?
Oh, God. Fuck. Hang on.
Are you wearing 2 watches?
Yes.
Don't look at me like I'm a freak when you got 2 watches on.
There's always something about the watches. One is for tracking health data, and one is because I like it because it was given to me as a gift.
Right. I mean, you could wear one and then the other.
I know,
instead
but I don't.
of both at the same time.
Yeah.
You look like a broke rapper.
A broke rapper?
Sometimes they wear 2 Rolexes because
what do you think of my the bracelets? Do you like them?
Is it gold and diamonds?
No, they're brass.
You're not 360. You're like 180.
Brass. You look like a broke rapper from the Stone Age.
From the Stone Age.
Yeah. Or the brass, the bronze.
It does
age.
actually look like a Stone Age sort of, bracelet. Mm-hmm. But no, I like to wear. Occasionally, I like to wear two. There you go. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'm a dickhead, but fuck.
I mean, you're wearing a fucking smartwatch and you run a podcast. You're a dickhead. I'm not saying that I'm not.
I'm literally wearing a Garmin and I also run two podcasts.
What's the whole...
I mean, I'm wearing a Gucci bracelet, so I'm in no spot to judge here at all. I'm the biggest wanker.
The Garmin thing, why Garmin and not like... You've got an iPhone, right?
Yeah.
So why not...
because I don't have Apple Music and I like music when I run.
Spotify? Still works?
They don't do it.
What do you mean they don't do it?
On the
Apple
watch?
Music refused to put... You can't download the app Spotify because
Yeah, but you...
they're not going to put a third-party app
Yeah,
on
you
their
can
shit.
on my phone.
It doesn't...
Yeah,
doesn't
I know
activate
what you
the-
mean. I know what you
the
mean. Like
things.
it's...
Oh, it doesn't work properly.
They
Yeah.
don't make it...
So what you're saying is you don't want your phone
That's
in
like
your
Google
pocket
Maps. They
while
don't like
you're
Google
running and
Maps.
exercising and
because
stuff.
I like for real run. Like, I like go
World
for
Gym.
it. Yeah, World Gym. I don't
Right,
go
that makes...
half
I
fast.
understand what you mean.
I hate when people have this huge phone on their shoulder thing and they're
Stupid.
lugging it around. It's like, dude, just travel light. I
Yeah.
just do wireless headphones, watch, and it works.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I never
paid
thought
the
about
price.
that. I never thought about that. You do need it in your pocket, but you can control like the volume
I can
and stuff
control
like
the
that.
songs and the volume from my headphones. I
Yeah.
have a little volume control.
But if you
on it.
move the phone more than like a couple meters away, it's gone. Yeah.
But I don't have my phone. It's just Bluetooth to my
That's what I
watch.
mean.
Yeah.
So that's why the Garmin fucking works.
Yeah,
Is
that's
anyone
great.
else frothing this fucking smartwatch chat?
Yeah.
Like, fuck, what's the best
Yeah, well,
smartwatch
I'm sitting here
phone?
listening to you guys talk about politics, and then I
Yeah.
eventually
Yeah,
sneak in a leaking dick joke. You give it nothing.
Yeah, sorry.
He was bored. Give the
I
man
was
a break.
so bored. I
Sorry,
think the
man.
viewers forgot I was here because
Yeah.
it just would have been on your two cameras.
What do you want to
Sorry.
talk about,
I should have
Lewis?
taken a piss or something.
Mate, it's your show. You're working, not me. I'm
What?
here. I'll bounce off you. You've got your fucking notes. You got like you look like you scripted the entire conversation.
say, how
They've
many-
got 3 pages of notes, and you're like, "What do you want to talk about? What do you want to talk
Nah,
about?
this-
You've written a lot."
This is actually quite.
Calm
This
down.
isn't much. This isn't much for what we normally do. We normally do like 5 or 6 pages or something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
But
This
do
is
you
more of a
ever
ca-
get through it?
No. It's just more sometimes I want reference points, and actually it's more the process of writing than anything.
Yeah, right. Luke and I will. We have a big whiteboard.
7
we
dot
might.
points.
Sometimes we struggle to write 5.
Yeah.
We'll get to 3 and we'll be like, "Fuck, what else?" And
But the
both
thing
of us
is-
will go, "Well, that's all the thoughts that are in my brain at the moment."
But your
So
show
that's
is a
it.
very obviously comedic conversational show. When I have people in here, I'm trying to get away from, like, they come in and do these interviews. There's always the cliche questions. I often try and use the preamble to get away from all that
Yeah, right.
bullshit.
Oh, so we're past the preamble.
Yeah,
So
you
you're
guys-
about to go deep.
No, you guys have been. This is like your fucking. What episode's this?
I think
The
it's
4th
the third
episode.
or 4th time.
Yeah,
Well, I think we've both come on individually.
Individually,
also.
And
Plus
maybe twice
3
together.
times together.
Oh, 3
This is the
times
third.
together.
Oh
Yeah,
shit.
right.
Yeah.
We're here. We're frequent visitors.
Yeah.
Who's your most frequent guest? We got to be up there.
Isn't it
It would be
Hayden?
between you. Who did you say?
Hayden Peterson?
No,
photographer?
actually. No, I mean, he's been in twice, but
Oh,
not
okay.
him.
Oh, we doubled him.
Dan Monheit's been in a few times. He's like a media guy. Fuck, Jacob. Who do we have in
So what
regularly?
you're trying to say is we have no competition.
Hayden was in 3 times.
On this podcast.
No,
and
but he was
life.
he was in a group one.
Let's have our own chat.
What have you been up to?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I got a
I haven't
show
seen you
tonight.
for
You
a couple of
performing
days.
tonight?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
gonna be good.
It's good. First Friday night for
Fuck
us.
yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah.
This is nice. This is so
podcast.
nice.
Should we keep doing the
Jordan was
podcast?
so left out.
Yeah.
This is so nice to see you
can't-
guys having a nice, like, calm
You
conversation.
can't like roast him about 2 watches, then his iPad, and then just start ignoring the fuck out of him.
What's funny about that, Luke,
That
is
is
you can.
And we did.
On a serious note, though, when you do
Yeah.
these interviews, what do you guys wish people would ask you? Because that's something I've been asking guests a lot recently.
That's a
like,
good question.
Like a topic you wish you could just... Because as an example, Hayden Peterson, he was in for an episode and we talked about psychedelics for
mates.
30, 40 minutes.
Oh, yes.
Tom
Yeah.
Noski, he was in and we talked about personal finance for 30 minutes.
Something that I would love
would hate
someone
that.
to ask me, I would froth that. Someone that I would love to be asked is like, what's it like being so handsome? I mean, no one would ever
God.
ask me that because why would you?
And
but
you
I would,
also-
I would feel good about
But
it.
you also wouldn't have the experience to
No, I
answer
wouldn't.
it.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I
Yeah.
would love to be asked that because that would mean I would be that handsome, you know? And that would just be nice generally. I mean, I would have a shit personality because why would I need one? But it would be nice to be asked that because that would mean I would be that.
What would you want to be asked?
I don't know, like I'm having to talk about anything. I only ever want to talk about stupid shit. Like I could have talked about skateboarding for another 45 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm not good. I
Hey,
can't
by
even
the way,
do an
we
ollie.
never actually finished that.
I mean, it wasn't that good.
That's why.
I'm glad, but
Yeah.
I've never said it'd be good. I said I'd be happy to.
Yeah.
And that's the difference.
Just on that quickly, how did you come to the verdict of you two being too old for skateboards?
I mean, I've been a blader my whole life. So it's kind of, I wanted to make the switch because blading's traditionally lame. Don't worry, I haven't ditched the blading world. I want to get back. I think you know what it was? I wanted to get from A to B. One day I walked from my house to the station and it was an uncomfortable long walk, but it would have been a cruisy skate. But then I also don't want to be the guy when I rock up to the venue or to the...
With the skateboard.
You know, getting from A to B is great, but being at B and holding a skateboard sucks.
Yeah.
Like, yo, dude, Shaka
But
on the way
it's better
in.
than like a bike. You have to like park it and lock it up. I just feel like skateboard, if you are going to a place, you can usually find somewhere to put it. Oh, hey, mate,
Skateboard is debatable over whether or not that's cool. Longboard is exclusively cool. Whenever I see
gonna
someone
buy,
on a
like, a
longboard, I'm
cruiser.
like, that guy's cool.
which is like one with the big wheels.
Yeah.
I just started off with a skateboard because I was worried I wouldn't be good yet and it'd be too fast for me. So I'm just kind of getting the hang of it. And now I'm going to buy a good proper one. It's so much fun. I love being on wheels.
Do you
Look at people walking. I'm like, you idiots.
Yeah.
What about
Luke always sees people in wheelchairs and he's like, fuck yeah, bro.
Yeah.
And they're always like, "Ugh."
Yeah,
It's
my
great.
people.
Well, what
Yeah.
about, because I just remember your skit or bit that you did with Frenchie, was it Blader Bros?
Yeah.
Do you
Blade
think
Life.
Blade Life?
Yeah.
Would you ever do that again?
Yeah. I mean, he's
'Cause that
down.
could be- that
I don't
could
know if he
work.
bought
Do
his
it.
blades.
Yeah, because that was fucking hilarious. But also,
That
in
was-
terms
you know
of
what was-
transport, that would actually work really
know
well
what's so
because
funny?
you could put them in your bag.
So for those who didn't say that skit, it's me and another Australian comedian, Frenchie, who also does online stuff.
He's actually the world's oldest
so
comedian.
old.
You know, he's I believe they did the
he's about
testing,
90
the
now.
carbon testing.
Yeah.
90 decades old, 900 years old. He is.
You know how they cut trees open and then like they age it by how many rings?
What do they do for Frenchie?
They
The
just do the
same
rings
thing,
around his
but-
eyes.
But they lose count.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be crazy if you ever cut him open. There'd be a crazy amount of rings.
Fuck, man. I don't
No
know how I
blood, though,
keep
just
tracking
dust.
these fucking interviews. It's so hard.
What do you mean? He's just ancient. That's nothing to get. And don't
Yeah.
get him on here because he won't remember. He gets dementia.
He
Really?
does.
Yeah.
Every time. Yeah, was he here in the room? Every time we
He'll
meet him,
forget
it's
where
like
he
the
is.
first time. He's always nice.
Yeah.
You know, because I forget people's names and faces sometimes. I'm pretty bad at that.
That's
but-
just because he's a bad person.
Yeah, that's just because I'm just kind of bad and in my own head all the time. But Frenchie has dementia, so we let it slide.
But yeah, we filmed this video and it was so much fun that day.
Yeah.
Because I rock up to this, like he's in this Airbnb in Carlton and it was great. We had to we wanted to film near Fed Square so it was a little more public so people give us weird looks. So instead of like walking down there, we were like, huh, we're on blades. So we just started the video and we're on the tram, just like the tram's moving and we're just holding on, like zooming around, and
Yeah.
people are trying to get on and off and we're like having races on the tram and rollerblades. It was great. We went through a protest. And if this doesn't show you that like fun can unite people, then I don't know what does, because we had to kind of push through everyone. We were blading through. I high-fived the protesters and then kept on going through and then high-fived some cops as well.
Yeah.
So I'm like, look, they can't agree on whatever they're protesting about, but
I think it was anti-abortion. That's why Luke was high-fiving them.
Jesus Christ.
But it was great. So, like we were I was high-fiving like the cops, the protesters, and people were like, look at these dudes on blades.
Yeah.
And we got down to Fed Square. People were like filming us for their Instagram.
It was a good bit. I really
was
liked
just
it.
like-
I think the glasses and everything made it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, the
whole
funny thing
get-up.
about rollerblades is you can't stop rollerblading. Like you're in them and you're in them until you arrive. You know,
Unless you take them off.
Well, they're on you.
Well, you
They're
can't take
shoes.
them off. If you take them off, you got no shoes on.
You can
So-
walk barefooted.
But like you
No,
can
but
get
you
off
don't
your
wanna
skateboard.
do that.
Yeah.
But you have to keep blading. You can't
Yeah.
like quickly jump off your blades and then pop them back on.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like
it's a commitment you've made to like the journey if you put on rollerblades, which is so much fun.
And the only reason you would really stop doing some mode of travel like that, if you're going A to B, the only reason you would really stop is in an emergency or if you're really embarrassed. And the only thing more embarrassing than rollerblading is taking them off because you're embarrassed.
Yeah.
Because you got to sit down.
You got to own it.
Take the straps off. Once you're in, you have to be the most confident person ever because you got to get to B.
Do you remember that time? How old are you?
I'm 30.
Okay. Oh, okay. You might have been like maybe a little too young, but there was a hot moment in time there where blades almost were cool. It was blades versus skateboarding, and then skateboarding won.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah.
Probably because of Tony Hawk.
Was that because of like the Jackass guys, Tony Hawk, and like that
100%.
culture and the music that surrounded it?
I reckon.
I mean, there was no Tony Hawk for blading.
You never watch a Blink-182 video and some guy's like doing a blade trick or something like that.
But it's harder with rollerblades to do tricks, I guess.
Yeah,
that's true.
I don't. What's cheaper, a skateboard?
Yeah, I was going to say a skateboard's probably cheaper. It's like a bad skateboard would be much cheaper than bad blades.
You look cooler on it as well. They're not shoes.
See, I went heavier on rollerblading because I just had like the worst experience where
I did rollerblading.
Why does that not shock me for either of you?
Well,
I was a rollerblade
okay, here's
kid. I was
mine,
intimidated by the board.
Alstonwick Skate Bowl back in the day before they'd renovated it, fix it up or whatever. We're skateboarding. We've got new skateboards for Christmas. We're testing it out. We're doing all right. Hey, Mum. Hey, Dad, look at us. My dad's like, I can give this a go.
Oh, no.
And he's got hiking shoes on, right?
I witnessed this at a regional skate park 2 weeks ago.
So just imagine it's got a lip in. So you're basically like given a fresh serve in.
He was dropping
pretty
in
easy.
as a dad.
No, he didn't drop in. It's like a
just going
like
on
a
the
ramp.
fun little slope.
That's fine.
A little slope. You remember at Alstonwick? Did you ever been?
I know what you're talking about because my brother used to skateboard, so I've been to all the parks.
So he was a scooter kid.
Yeah, he was a scooter kid. He literally almost went pro until he broke his arm. And his mate is now, I can't remember his name, but his friend is the Tony Hawk of scooters.
Not as cool.
Not as cool, but he's rolling in cash.
I don't know if you're lying.
No, I'm literally. This is the one time. That's the one true thing I've said the whole interview.
Okay.
Is that my brother almost went pro on doing scooter shit.
What's your brother's name?
Arthur.
Yeah. Arthur and Lewis.
Yeah.
Yeah. So your dad's at the skate park.
So we're looking at this. This is a super serious dad. Always working, and he just decides he's going to do this cool thing. We're like, fuck, our dad's cool. Goes down the bowl and comes up the other like lip and proceeds to actually double dislocate his ankle.
Oh, fuck.
The board keeps going and his leg stays there and it proceeds to dislocate fully 180. Or nearly 180. And he's like there screaming his head off in the bowl, and like it was the fucking worst experience ever. I would have been 10.
Oh yeah, that's PTSD.
Yeah.
You can't board ever.
Yeah. So we had that, and he's like, you know, they give him the green whistle and all that, and I just remember him screaming, "Don't let them cut it off!" Like the whole way to the ambulance.
A bit much, Dad.
Yeah.
They're not going to fucking amputate the foot.
No, they said they may have to amputate his foot.
What?
Yeah. And that's why he was freaking out.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was high as a kite.
The shittest way ever.
Exactly correct reaction.
The shittest way ever to lose your foot. Like, someone's like, oh my God, you get attacked by a shark. And you're like, nah, I was trying to be a cool dad.
Workplace accident, you know, like he runs a manufacturing factory. He's, did it happen there? Nah, I went skateboarding.
Skate park.
Could you imagine? He'd never live it down. But yeah, that was my, and from that moment onwards, it was always about rollerblading for me.
Yeah, I never did
I'm not going to judge you now.
I never did anything like that. I would never, and I still never do risky things with my body. I think my mum freaked me out. She had shit knees. She's had 2 knee reconstructions, so she would always tell me about her knees, and something about it freaked me out.
Just gives you the ick.
Lewis won't even go on a roller coaster.
No.
So your mum seemed, from all the stories she's told, quite overprotective.
I think she's an anxious person.
She used to like make you fearful of every single risk.
Yeah.
Like remind you
my
of the
dad's
risk
like
of every
that.
situation.
A-type, very like risk averse.
But she would do things like she was always worried about me getting hurt by external things. But then she gave me the fear, but then she also gave me the spine. So she was always like worried about me getting into fights at school for some reason. And she was always like,
Have you met you?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Maybe it was my personality.
Maybe.
And she always used to tell me, Lewis, never start a fight, but always finish one.
Yeah.
She goes, if you get hit him back twice as hard.
So,
And that's kind of my philosophy in life.
what's the most
is
socially
overreacting.
acceptable, risky activities for you guys? Like, think about like skiing, rollerblading, base
I
jumping.
got more injuries playing footy than any other thing I've ever done.
But like, what's the furthest you would go?
Well, that's because you treat footy like it's a UFC match.
yeah, but never like fighting in footy. It's always just like in a pack and you like break your arm. Like I broke my arm and ligaments and stuff. I don't know. Like
Truly, physically, I never really
never
did
got
anything.
hurt.
I did tennis. I've never broken a bone. I used to twist my ankle a bit when I would run.
Yep.
But truly, I've never really done anything physically risky.
I just do dumb shit. Like when I was a kid, like billy carting down insanely steep hills and ending up in thorn bushes, and like we used to like watch Jackass and then go outside and not film it and just repeat it. Like it's insane.
I wonder how
dumb
many
stuff.
kids Jackass put in
Yeah.
the hospital.
So many. They would have killed people.
Would
Yeah,
you,
absolutely.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Would you guys ever like parachute or anything like that?
No.
For a joke. 100%. I could get him
Maybe-
into a...
So you wouldn't do it for like,
I'd worry for
hot
the
air
bit's
balloon?
sake. Say
Would
if we ever had to skydive for a bit, like say if we thought the funniest way to land in some place was to just jump out of a plane. and land
Ironically,
there.
as someone who's incredibly tall, I'm 6'8", I also have a real big fear of heights.
He's scared
I
every
am-
goddamn day.
I am a height. That's why I walk around with at a 9 anxiety-wise, because I'm like, fuck.
I don't think I could do any of that shit. Like it just doesn't interest me at all.
Look, I could do it for a bit. The only thing
No,
more
I'd be
powerful than my
scared
fear is
you'd
my
ruin the
passion
bit.
for comedy. Well, that's what I mean. I could do it for a bit, but I don't think the bit would be funny because it would just
I'd be scared
like,
too.
yeah.
I don't think
petrified
you'd
of
enjoy
heights.
it.
No, I wouldn't. Andrew Schultz has a great joke about skydiving where the best case scenario is you live.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's the best case scenario. I don't
worst-
want to do anything where the best case scenario is I survive.
Worst
That's
ca-
like life though. Like that's like you can say that about anything. That's
Yeah,
such a
but-
pessimistic attitude because the best case scenario is you love it, you have a great time. You're like, wow, what an experience! I was literally falling through the air.
But you're putting yourself in that situation.
That's like
though.
going like, oh, I left the house today. Best case scenario, I make it home. It's like,
This
yeah.
is an agoraphobic attitude.
No, but that it's objective that you will return home fine generally, but you're jumping out of a
No,
plane.
it's not. You know what? This is why I'll never go parachuting. Frenchie told me this, I think. He did a show back in 1812. No, this was like this is true. A few years ago, this is kind of Frenchie's story, but I remember talking to him about it. He did a show in some regional town and he was doing crowd work and he worked out this guy, this guy in the front row. You know the story.
Yeah.
He was off his face. He was drunk. He was doing pills. He was fucked, right? And Frenchie's talking to him, oh, you're so drunk, blah, 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 whatever. And the guy, and you're man, you're going to have a real rough morning tomorrow. He's like, yeah, fuck, I've got to get up early. And Frenchie goes, oh, what do you do for work? And he goes, oh, I pack parachutes.
No.
See, people are stupid. They think they're trusting their life to the jump instructor.
That's what I
it's
mean.
not.
I don't
it's
trust
the
them.
cunt working minimum wage who packs the parachute. That's who you trust your life to.
Yeah.
The guy who's at a Frenchie show off his head on pills and beer. You gonna trust him? I
You have-
won't.
There's
This is
the
why I
same
don't do this
argument
shit.
with carny workers as well. Like when you
yeah.
go on those like pop-up, Melbourne
Yeah, there's
festival rides.
fucking no way I do that
and it's
shit.
like those guys are like
Yeah.
on so many pills
People
just because they
say-
have to stay awake.
But also
and
the
stuff.
the machines are second hand. They bought them from some other big
Yeah.
Yeah.
like theme park. And then
Who's
what's the
checking it?
service like?
Sure,
fucking
they've
protocol
got
there.
a guy that owns it. They've got a traveling popcorn guy. They got the roadies that go around. Do they have a traveling safety inspector? I don't fucking think so.
I don't think so.
Everyone
at
goes,
all.
oh, the machines are designed by engineers. It's like, okay, cool, good point. But engineers from 100 years ago, and do they assemble them?
No.
Nah. Have you ever tried to build IKEA furniture? Have you ever done it correctly? Nah.
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen back in the day, way too many videos of like
Just people going into space.
that's just like rides. Pretty much,
It's just
like,
that.
rides failing on YouTube Live, like whatever you
Fuck
want.
that.
It's not for me.
You want to know
No
a good one I did at Movie World, right? So that one of the rides has like a countdown clock, and I got to 2. I was with Meg's brother-in-law, my girlfriend, and Meg, and then it's like 3, 2, and it gets to 2, and I go, oh shit, my harness, dude. He freaked out. Then the ride just shoots off. If you want to make anyone not enjoy anything, just tell them you're about to die.
Yeah.
And they'll hate the experience.
Yeah.
And
People hate that.
We lined up for 20 minutes, and I ruined his little day.
The last few things I was going to ask you about is content.
Uh-huh.
So I know we were looking at your Real Talk thing and how that has definitely become a trend over the last year for yourself. What have you guys changed in your content? What does the next year look like?
Hopefully, as if it stays legal and safe to do so, I think for me and Luke as well probably is just stand-up clips. I think that's something Luke's a lot better at it than me because he's just been
Funnier.
putting more effort into filming the clips and
That was
everything.
good. I like that.
Thank you.
Um,
And it shows that I was being honest.
Yeah, okay, whatever. Come up with a fucking title banger and then come talk to me.
You still haven't rounded that
I
out
was going
with
to
the
say,
pick.
we're still waiting for the comeback.
Yeah, well, hey,
You're running out of time. too.
stay tuned for our 6th appearance on the show.
This
Title's gonna
joke
come
feels
back
like
with a bang.
Title's launched strong at first and then it just petered off.
Pretty
You know
much.
you know what's happened here is right before a tsunami, the tide goes out.
Oh.
The tide's gone out. We're standing 300 meters into where there is normally ocean, having a party. We don't know it's coming. Pretty soon, tidal wave's gonna fucking take us out.
Okay.
You wait. It's coming. This podcast might go for 6 hours, but it will arrive. I think that what's really changed during quarantine is short vertical video. Remember when Instagram started up IGTV and they did a big press conference and they were like, vertical video is the future, and everyone was like, fuck off.
This is shit.
I'm not watching video vertically. Look at us now.
Yeah.
Can't laugh at a comedy show because it's in landscape.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I spend probably 50% of my editing time not creating original content. It's just resizing and repurposing content for every single platform. And
Yes.
it infuriates me.
thing
I
is-
love subtitling and I love resizing, Jordan.
That's
So
the most frustrating, because Luke and I both started.
People don't even want to listen anymore. They have to have both for them to pay attention to the joke.
Yeah.
It's true. I've noticed on TikTok now that subtitling is like standard.
Yeah.
Yeah. When Luke and I started, it was Facebook. That's
And
it.
YouTube.
And a little bit of YouTube. Now, if you want to be a creator, it is so much more difficult to be on everything. You need to be on, I mean, you don't need to be on Facebook, but we are. Facebook, what we do, I come up with one video, I got to post it to Facebook, to Instagram, to YouTube, and then I got to cut it down for Reels and cut it down for TikTok, and then I got to do stories. It's like you no
Twitter.
longer do one post. Twitter, you got to put it absolutely fucking everywhere. There is no such thing as posting once. Every time you have a bit of content, you got to post it 8 times. That's why we have editors. Is like, sometimes Luke and I will edit the main YouTube video, the stand-up clip or whatever it may be, and then you got to give it to one guy who has to spend 4 hours
Just
distributing it to other platforms, and then you have to sit down for like half an hour captioning, posting. All right, next platform, caption, post, next platform, doing all of that. It's cool because you get to reach a wider audience, but it's like, it's turning into such a job to be everywhere at once, and you have to be everywhere at once, and you got to be posting every fucking day. That's why I started Real Talk.
We have like 2 full-time jobs and 1 part-time job. I would say podcasting is a part-time job.
Yeah.
We both spend 3 days a week doing podcasting.
Yeah. And that's just not the show. Planning the show,
Yeah.
organizing event. We try to do more than just a podcast.
And then being a stand-up comedian is a full-time job. Has been
you
for
gotta
years.
write.
Yeah.
And I always feel like the struggle to keep up the standard with everyone else that's just doing stand up while we're trying to do all these things during the day. Like, we'll get to gigs and everyone's like, what have you guys been up to? And you go, oh, podcasting. We did 2 episodes today and then I wrote a video and they go, I'm like, what'd you do? They're like, oh, I wrote like 2 jokes. But then they go up and those 2 jokes like kill. Yeah. And it's like, that's actually a productive day. But then I go, like, didn't have a chance to write. I'll see how I'll go.
Do you really have to
But that's why you're so good at crowd work.
Yeah,
because
I got really good at crowd work
Yeah,
because I often get up at gigs and I'm like, fuck it. And I just start talking to people.
But do you really have to be on every single platform?
Yep.
Absolutely.
Maybe not
think
Facebook anymore.
100%. I think you must focus on one. Absolutely. I think once you're established, you need to be everywhere. If you're starting out, you need a mainline just one.
You need to at least be on TikTok and Instagram now starting out, at least. And then YouTube, you should be trying to, because you can't monetize on those platforms unless you get brand deals. Yeah. You should be working on something that's monetized, which is YouTube in the long run.
I think the ultimate goal for any creator should be big on YouTube, because honestly, out of all of these platforms, YouTube still is the only one I look at and go, that's going to be here in 10 years.
Yeah, I was thinking
Facebook died years ago. Is that going to be here in 10 years? It might be. It might be fucking MySpace. Instagram is the next Facebook. It's happening.
Yeah.
It's
already happening.
It's doing making the same mistakes that Facebook did, which was let's be every
company.
app at once. TikTok, Instagram saw TikTok and was like, oh, we'll have that. They saw Snapchat. They were like, we'll have that.
If TikTok just doesn't change it, I see longevity in it. I didn't originally. And we were both like hating on it. But it's like every app. You know what? We kind of thought everyone compared it to Vine when it came out. Remember when it came out? Yeah, everyone was like, it's just Vine 2.0.
It's definitely not like Vine.
It was. The level of content was just as shit.
I was pretty
pro
TikTok for a while. I remember, I think
you were
I
like,
was
we
the
need to get on
first
this.
one on TikTok. And now I am the smallest one on TikTok.
But it was just like the people on it was so bad. The content was so
only
bad.
Children
At the start, it was just made by
It
kids.
was just mainly cringe. Like
it was weird.
Yeah.
And that's why I think I was against it. I was like, yeah, but I don't want to be associated with this mess of this app. But then it started to get good. And then I put a lot of time into it. And now it's my biggest platform.
Yeah. I was thinking like what I noticed was, yes, the content could be shit, but the algorithm was totally fascinating.
Is insane. It knows exactly what I want to see. And I don't feel like I've given it enough information to do so. But it just fucking works.
Knows.
And if they don't change it, it'll be great. Because that format of a minute, everyone knows it now. Just don't change it.
Well, it's already happening. They're getting into live streaming.
Yeah.
And
they push that really
some
fucking
people
hard.
I know went to meet the people in charge of TikTok in Australia, and they're going to go real hard on live streaming, which is cool.
Yeah, I've
Carla
and the creator team, because we manage a lot of like TikTokers now.
Yeah. So you must be making heaps of cash out of that.
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
It's a hard slog, because the problem with the early TikTokers who are big is that, and this is the thing I'm noticing,
it's very hard to get off TikTok to transfer the audience elsewhere.
Well, okay, so here's a question for you guys. Of your audience, what percentage is Australian on TikTok?
Mine's like 60.
Okay, that is unusual for a lot of the early TikTokers.
I do hashtag Australia in every single one of my videos.
Do you?
Every single one.
Yeah. So the difference between a lot of the creators that we managed that were there in the early days when it was like Musically, they've got like 8 to 10% Australia. Yeah. The rest is all American. Or some random place like India or somewhere in Europe. But the ones like Will Gibb and a few others,
take about 41%.
Okay. So like Will has an audience in Australia in the 90s of percent.
Yeah.
Like they've worked out that you can't just jump on trends and just get big that way, because then no one wants to do shit with you.
That's useless. They're not a fan of you. They're a fan of how you did that trend that was entertaining at the time. And then you go, by the way, I have a fucking bakery. And they go, well, I don't care about that. I want you to do the dance.
Yeah. So it's harder for people to accept that, because it's harder to grow on TikTok in that way, but it's better in the long run.
From someone who has grown slowly, it is so much better and so much more. It lasts.
You can see how many comments they get per subscribers.
They don't even follow me on other platforms. They just see me promote it and they go like, they come to shows and they go, I'm such a big fan. every time you upload, like I upload 4 times a week or 5 times a week on TikTok, they go, I'm always like first. I feel like I'm always there so early when you upload. Like, and it's weird to have a fan on TikTok because I'm not really a fan of anyone on there because I don't use it like that. I'm a fan of people on YouTube.
That's because it's the new like
you can't
Gen
really
Z
check
is
up on
TikTok.
people's new videos on TikTok.
You just get what you're given.
You get what you're given.
And there's nothing's chronological, and TikTok was smart in the sense where Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, they all had to go through this thing of they gave it to you chronologically and then they took it away. TikTok were just like, you get what you get and you don't get upset. And I'm not upset.
Yeah.
Because
it knows you so well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I know what you mean. But the thing is, if you get dished someone's stuff on your own.
If you repeatedly get dished someone's stuff, you just become a fan.
Yeah. But also you can go into their profile and view stuff.
Yeah, you can. You can binge watch people on TikTok as well.
But I know what you mean. Like sometimes you'll miss shit and be like, oh fuck, there's like 3 videos here I've missed. What the fuck?
Yeah, I go and like sometimes I like watch Alex Williamson stuff and I'm like, oh, I wonder what he's been up to. And then it tells you which ones
like
you've watched.
full
Like,
videos.
he posts like 10 times a day. I'm like, oh, I'm not watching this.
Out of interest, how many people do you follow on? Like mine is absolutely
50?
ridiculous on
40?
TikTok. Mainly because I just look at like a creator and go like, okay,
57.
this is another person I can potentially work
Honestly,
with.
185. That's a lot.
732.
half the people I follow,
It's a lot.
I just kind of like as a joke. Like
Yeah.
I'll see someone like that just does shit stuff and I'll just like go, I want to watch more of this. Because I want the algorithm to recommend me more of whatever.
I will like shit things so I get more shit things.
Yes.
I love it. That's the best part of TikTok.
Whenever I see someone fall off a roof, I just like it. Even if that wasn't a good one, I know in 2 days' time I'm going to get a banger of someone
that's a good
eating shit on a
strat.
kayak or something like that.
Let me tell you, all the listeners, everyone watching, this is the best content on TikTok, without a doubt. By far, I've watched a lot of TikTok. This is the best.
Which?
The best, and it's really rare, but it's starting to happen more and more often. It's like become a thing to do on TikTok. The best fucking TikTok you could ever watch is an old person accidentally posting a TikTok to their feed for the first time. Some old man just filming himself accidentally, looking confused, trying to turn it off while like wet ass pussy plays. They turn it, the TikTok ends
And it has like a million likes.
Million likes.
Yeah, it's so good.
And they'll get 500,000 followers, and people are doing that because it's funny and because the idea of like an 80-year-old guy in fucking Alabama just sitting there while his phone goes bing 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 bing. He goes, how do I turn it off? Bing 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 bing. Follow is hilarious.
Yeah.
It's like positive bullying.
Do you know one of my favorite people to follow is this old guy who's like in like the New South Wales northern coast, and he's like an old editor of The Age, like, but he's probably about 75 or something like that, and he just tells these stories on like his TikToks are just stories.
I also love that
totally
page,
fascinating.
Sink Reviews. It's just a guy that like earnestly reviews sinks in America, and he rates them like out of 5 sinks. And it started off, I liked it ironically. I was like, lol, this guy's reviewing sinks. That's a good meme. And now I'm just like, I'll get fucking pissed off when he gives one like 4, and I'm like, dude, that was a 2 at best. I know a sink when I see one.
I found one. How's this? In my liked videos, 10 million views.
Okay,
what is it?
This
is there audio, good audio from it? We'll describe it.
I'll mute it. Just so you don't get copyrighted or whatever. But it's just this woman just like eating. She's reading the text. You're supposed to like pick one of them. That's the trend. She doesn't know she's being filmed. She's trying to stop it. It's not stopping. She has no idea what's going on.
And she's just chewing the whole time as well.
Look at her. She's tapping. She's like, how do I turn this off? She thinks she stopped it. She's talking to someone else now. It has 10 million views, 2.5 million likes, and this woman has now 70,000 followers.
And what are her other
and
videos?
That's almost as much as you, and you try.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a bit in that.
That's so
It would almost be an interesting experiment to go full on prosthetic makeup and do one of them on a new account and just see what happens.
Yeah.
Then you'd end up being stuck in this old man character on this weird second account.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming in. I think we've cracked over an hour and a half or something, haven't we?
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Where can people find you on the interwebs, and also, more importantly, where can they buy tickets?
Both of us are performing in Melbourne, the Comedy Festival. When you listen to this, we have a week's worth of shows. We're both performing every single night. You can't see us both in one night, so pick your nights. Come see us. The shows, as of recording, Luke and I have done like three shows. Also, 2 shows.
Oh, yeah. But when this is released, we'll probably be up to our last week of the festival.
Yeah, so it'll be all nice and polished, and it's been incredible. Really, really amazing. I know we talked a little bit of shit, but honestly, it's been great. The crowds have been awesome, and we'd love to see you there.
It's so much fun to just be back on stage every night and like have people there. It's so weird. I'm still in the point where it's like, oh, we're doing this still.
Yeah.
I was 100% expecting the festival to be cancelled again.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah,
we had to cancel it last year. We went through it.
You just have to have this part of your mind that's like, I'm going to get fucked.
I understand that, but because it got so close to the
trying
festival
to let
and there was
myself
no
down.
cases.
Yeah, I know, but I was just trying to like make it easier
like
for
as
myself.
An example, we had this chat recently because the wedding is on the 10th, and then we just heard it's the 8th.
I don't know how you had the balls to book a wedding.
We had to fucking move it. Yeah. I moved it in February from October to April.
Yeah.
So like I was like, oh, this thing will be over by then for sure. And I wasn't going to move it again because if we move it again, it's fucking at the end of the year and I'm sick of moving weddings or whatever. 8th is when new international arrivals can start coming in. So I'm like,
I thought this exactly.
Thank fuck, because at least I can get the wedding done.
Yeah, because I've absolutely no faith in hotel quarantine, zero confidence. It's the federal government's job. They're not doing it. The state government cannot do it properly. They don't have the resources.
Yeah.
I've got no faith. When they announced that they were going to resume it on April 8th, I was like, fuck yeah. That means that they'll have 2 weeks to work out that it's gotten out of hand, and by then, festival's over, baby.
Yeah.
I can start doing shows in Sydney. And then they won't let me back.
When does the festival end again? What's the end date?
April 18th.
April 18th.
Yeah,
So by the time COVID gets dangerous, we'll be sweet. So by the time you listen to
my
this...
Sydney shows will get cancelled,
it's halfway to
but
dangerous.
That's okay.
Fuck, it'd be funny to listen to this in hindsight.
This is going to age poorly.
I have zero faith.
Tomorrow, 2 new cases of locally acquired COVID.
No faith. Get the fucking army to do it.
Yeah. Jens, thanks again for coming in. Appreciate it.
No worries. Thanks for coming. Always fun.
Yeah.
When are we coming back?
Sometime later this year.
Yeah, great.
Are you going to wrap up the title joke or next episode?
Next episode. Stay tuned. The tidal wave will hit.
Thank you so much for checking out this episode. If you do like it, please subscribe, and of course, like if you're watching the YouTube video as well. We'd really appreciate that. You can also find our Clips channel in the description. For audio, if you're not already listening, you can search Uncommon on Pocket Cast, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts quite easily. For video, if you're not watching, you can search Uncommon on YouTube. And for behind-the-scenes takes and clips on social media, then definitely check out @uncommon_show on Instagram. But otherwise, look, thanks so much for tuning in, and until next time, thanks for listening.